Hello, brothers and sisters. Our hearts are certainly full of emotion. What a wonderful blessing it is to participate in the creation of a new stake in the Magic Valley. We will miss each and every one who has been asked to strengthen other stakes in our area. Because of the significant impact the Twin Falls East stake will have upon the Kimberly, Idaho stake, we have made this recorded instruction to help walk through some of the ward boundary changes that will be occurring. Additional maps and rosters will be available on the stake website as well. The Kimberly, Idaho stake has enjoyed tremendous growth over the last several years, and the amount of new and planned developments in our stake boundaries continues to increase. Considerations have been given to current and future growth, and we anticipate that smaller ward units will allow more service and growth opportunities for each individual and family. With each ward being affected by these changes, we ask each of you to be willing to lend your strength, talents, and gifts to continue to build the Lord's kingdom here in the Magic Valley. The Lord needs each one of us. I would first like to show the maps for those that will now be in the Twin Falls East and the Twin Falls South stakes. The current Twin Falls 19th Ward will be in the new Twin Falls East stake. The ward boundary, however, will slightly be adjusted. The western boundary will continue to be along Eastland Drive between Filer and Addison Avenue. The Addison Springs townhomes will continue to be in the 19th Ward. The eastern boundary will continue along Meadowview Lane back to where it reaches Filer. Those that are living on Longbow and Highland Drive will move into the new Shoshone Falls Ward in the Twin Falls East stake. The Shoshone Falls Ward will incorporate those in the Highland and Longbow subdivision, as well as some additional members from the current Twin Falls 11th Ward. It will also go along Addison Avenue and the area north all the way to 3400 East. So 3400 East will be the east-west boundary between the Twin Falls East and the Kimberly, Idaho stake. The new bishopric will be sustained under the direction of the new stake presidency. There is a small area which is just north of Addison Avenue, which includes the Woodridge Drive subdivision extending to 3300 East. This neighborhood will now be a part of the Twin Falls South stake, the Twin Falls 9th Ward. This is a geographically large ward. It will also incorporate members from the Kimberly 7th Ward that are living west of 3400 East all the way down to 3400 North. This includes the Oregon Trail subdivision. These members will be invited to sustain their new bishopric on September the 5th at 2 p.m. in the Elizabeth Street building. Now we will turn to the ward boundaries of the new Kimberly, Idaho stake, which will be presented by President Satterfield and President Funk.
Brothers and sisters, it's my privilege to share with you the boundaries of a few of the wards as they will stand from today going forward. We'll start with the Kimberly 4th Ward. You can see an outline of these boundaries here. We'll start on the northwestern portion of the ward, which is also the line that divides the Kimberly, Idaho stake from the Twin Falls East stake. So starting at the canyon and following the line with 3400 East all the way to Polk Street on the southernmost portion of the Kimberly 4th Ward. The boundary then goes east along Polk Street to Emerald Drive North, at which point it will turn north again and proceed north across Kimberly Avenue on up to Addison Avenue. From here, the boundary turns east along Addison Avenue until it reaches 3500 East Road, at which point the boundary goes north again until Falls Avenue. From 3500 East and Falls, the boundary turns back west till approximately 3455, at which point the boundary becomes a separation between Fafner and the neighborhood associated with Fafner Drive and Hidden Lakes here on the west side and China Ridge subdivision here. The boundary separates these subdivisions so that Hidden Lakes is in the Kimberly 4th Ward, and Fafner and China Ridge are no longer in the 4th Ward. I will now take you through the boundaries of the Kimberly 1st Ward. We will start in the northwest corner. This is the Snake River Canyon and the point that divides the Kimberly 1st Ward from the Kimberly 4th Ward. We're north of the China Ridge subdivision. The boundary line separates China Ridge subdivision from Hidden Lakes and continues down, separating the Hidden Lakes and this part of Addison from the Fafner subdivision until we reach Addison Avenue, at which point this boundary goes east until it reaches 3500 east. The First Ward boundary then follows its current boundary to Addison Avenue, at which point the southern part of the ward boundary will extend east along Addison Avenue, past 3600 east, and to the road, an intersection where 3700 east meets Addison Avenue. At this point, the boundary will extend north as if 3700 east extended north till it reaches the canyon, and then the boundary will follow the canyon all the way back to where we started in the northwest corner. The subdivisions of Harrison Estates North are here, Sageview, and Horizon Crest still included in the Kimberly 1st Ward. I will now show you the new boundaries of the Kimberly 6th Ward. We'll start in the northwest corner of the ward. This is Addison Avenue along the north part here, and we're at 3450 East Addison Avenue. This is Destination Point subdivision right here, with the Stake Center located here. The northwest corner here at Addison Avenue and 3450, the boundary will extend south from this point to Emerald Drive and to Willow Street until we reach Monroe Street within Kimberly. At this point, the southern portion of the ward boundary will be along Monroe Street, where the boundary will head east until it reaches Main Street. From the corner of Monroe Street and Main Street, the boundary then turns north. It passes Polk Street and Sage Street until approximately 3760 north, at which point the boundary turns east and separates Kimberly Heights from the other neighborhoods to the south, extending east to approximately 3540 east. At this point, the boundary then turns south to Polk Street and then turns east along Polk Street until it reaches 3600 east. At this point, it turns north all the way to Addison Avenue, and then from Addison Avenue and 3600 east, the boundary then turns west until we reach 3450 east again. And that encompasses the new boundaries of the Kimberly 6th Ward. I will now show you the new boundaries of the Kimberly 7th Ward. To quickly orient you to this map, here is the Kimberly High School, Middle School, and Kimberly Elementaries. This is Kimberly Meadows subdivision. We will start in the northwest corner of the boundaries. 3400 East and Polk Street is the intersection where we'll start. From there we'll head south along 3400 East to approximately 3642 North. The line will then head east, separating the two phases of the Heritage Farms subdivisions to Emerald Drive, at which point the boundary will turn north along Emerald Drive to just south of the first house south of Gem Drive. The boundary will then extend east through the back fence line to Marble Street. At this point, the boundary goes south on Marble Street to just north of the last house on the east side of Marble Street. East through the fence line all the way to Jasper Drive. North, then to Gem Drive, and then the boundary continues east to Main Street. From this intersection, the boundary extends north along Main Street all the way up to Monroe Street, at which point it turns west along Monroe until it reaches Willow Street. From this intersection of Monroe and Willow, it goes north along Willow Street and follows that same line all the way up to Polk Street, at which point it extends west again until it reaches 3400 East, the corner of 3400 East and Polk Street being our starting point. I'll now show you the new boundaries of the Kimberly 2nd Ward. Quick orientation, this is the Stone Gate subdivision. We have Diamond Drive along here. This is Emerald Street here on our left, the western boundary of the ward. We will start in the northwest corner along Emerald Street, and the northwest corner starts along the fence line of the southern boundary of the house that is along Gem Drive at this location. From that starting point, the boundary extends south along Emerald Drive until it reaches 3600 North. At 3600 North, the boundary extends due east until it reaches 3500 East, at which point it turns north and goes all the way until the intersection of 3500 East and Gem Drive. At this point, the boundary turns west along Gem Drive until it reaches Jasper, and then turns south until it meets the fence line of the house on the northern side of Diamond Drive. The boundary then follows this fence line behind these homes until it reaches Marble Drive. Houses on both sides of Diamond Drive are within the 2nd Ward. At Marble, it turns north and stops at the fence line of the homes that face Gem Drive. The boundary then follows that fence line until we're back at our starting point at Emerald Drive, the center section encompassing all of the Kimberly 2nd Ward boundary.
Good day, brothers and sisters. This will be the Kimberly 3rd Ward alignment proposal, and we're going to start in the northwest corner, and it is we'll start at 3700 East. It's along the canyon, and we're going to go south to 3700, down to 3900 north, and that'll be Addison Avenue, and then we'll go south to 3600 East, and then we'll be west at 3750 north to approximately 3530 there. Then from there we'll go west on the line of approximately 3770 north to 3500 East. That'll be taking in all of Sage Street homes. And then we'll go south on 3500 East to Lincoln Street, and east on Lincoln Street to Irene Street, and then south on Irene Street to approximately 3650 north. East on approximately 3650 north to 3600 East, and then north on 3600 East to Highway 30. And east on Highway 30 to 3700 East, and then north to 3700 East to Highway 50. East on Highway 50, follow to the Snake River Canyon again, and follow the Snake River Canyon to approximately 3700 East to the starting point. Brothers and sisters, now we'd like to go over the boundaries for the Kimberly 5th Ward. And if we go to the northwest corner, right there, we will start at 3400 East, which is the boundary between the two stakes, and we'll go 3400 East, approximately 3642. And then we'll go south at approximately 3642 to 3400. And then we will go west on 3400 north to 3300 east. South on 3300 east to approximately 3100 north. East on 3100 north to 3500 east. North on 3500 east to the Rock Creek Canyon rim. Follow the canyon rim east to 3600 right there. Then we'll go to 3650 north, and then we'll go west approximately at 3650 north to Irene Street. North on Irene Street to Lincoln Street. West on Lincoln Street to 3500 east or Main Street. And then south on 3500 east or Main Street to 3600 north. And then west on 3600 north to Emerald Drive. And then north on Emerald Drive to the north boundary of Phase 1 of the Heritage Farm. And then follow the line that separates Phase 1 and Phase 2 of Heritage Farm west on 3400 east, where we began. Okay, brothers and sisters, these are the boundary changes for the Hanson Ward. And we're going to start in the northwest corner again up at the canyon. And we're going to follow Highway 50, Snake River Canyon. South on Highway 50 to 3700, right there. And then west on Highway 30 to 3600 east. And then south on 3600 east to 3200 north. And that's the Pump Land Road. Then east on 3200 north to 4200 east. And then north on 4200 east to the Snake River Canyon. And we follow the canyon back around to where we started. Those are the boundaries for the Hanson Ward. Brothers and sisters, these are the ward boundaries for the new Rock Creek Ward. So put your tennis shoes on with me here because we've got a lot of miles to cover. 4200 east of the Snake River Canyon. We are going to go south on 4200 east to 3200 north, which is Pumpland Road. Then we're going to go west on 3200 north to 3600 east. Good. South on 3600 east to the Rock Creek Canyon. We're going to follow the Rock Creek Canyon to 3500 east. South on 3500 east to 3100 north. And then we're going to go west on 3100 north to approximately 3300 east. Follow the line south to approximately 2400 north. Follow a line west to approximately 2850 east. This boundary goes clear to the Nevada border. And then we'll follow the Nevada border east to approximately 3900 east. Follow a line north to approximately 2700 north, and then we'll follow a line east to approximately 4500 east. Then we are going to go north on 4500 east to 3175 north. And then we're going to jog around. This is kind of around the lake here, the S-curves as people call it out there. We're going to drive around there and we'll get back to the north on 4500 east to 3175. And then north on 4475 east to 3300 north. And then we'll go east on 3300 north to 4500 east. And then north on 4500 east to the railroad tracks. And follow the railroad tracks northwest to the intersection of Highway 30, right there. And then north on Highway 30, the railroad tracks intersection to the Snake River Canyon. And that'll be the boundary of the new Rock Creek Ward. Brothers and sisters, this is the boundaries of the Murtaugh Ward. We're going to start up in the northwest corner and approximately 4270 east on the Snake River Canyon. And we're going to follow the line south where Highway 30 and the train tracks intersect. Follow the track southeast where it intersects with 4500 east. South on 4500 east to Highway 30. And then we'll go west on Highway 30 to 4475. And then south on 4475 east, follow the road to 4500 east. Then we'll go south on 4500 east to approximately 2700 north, which if you could drive up over the mountains would be the Golden Valley Road. And then we'll go east on the Golden Valley Road to 1400 west. And then north on 1400 west to 3500 north, or 200 south. Then east on 3500 north to 200 south, approximately a tenth of a mile. Then we'll follow the line north to the Snake River Canyon, and follow the Snake River Canyon to approximately 4270. So members of the Murtaugh Ward, the change is the 4500 is the division from what you currently have on the railroad tracks. So these are the boundaries of the Murtaugh Ward.
Wow. Well, I hope you're still with us after that. We recognize that these changes are extensive, but we feel confident that these new boundaries will allow for more balanced growth, not just physically, but also spiritually. We're grateful to be able to have this chance to come together, to strengthen wards, to have new opportunities to serve and to minister to each other. I'd like to just briefly go over the new meeting times and which buildings we'll be in. We'd like to start out by looking at the Hankins building. The Kimberly 4th Ward will continue to meet at the Hankins building. They will be the only unit from our stake that will be there, and they will meet at 9 a.m. Because of the need for us to sustain 3 new bishoprics on September the 5th, we will be holding a altered meeting schedule that day to accommodate us to perform this responsibility. Some wards will not be affected, but we will plan to sustain the new bishopric for the Kimberly 4th Ward at 9 a.m. on September the 5th. Next, we will move to the Stake Center. We will now have 4 units in the Stake Center. They will include Kimberly 1st, Kimberly 3rd, the Hanson Ward will be new to the Stake Center, and Kimberly 6th Ward. Now we'll switch to the Birch Street building. The Birch Street will now have 3 units. We'll be inviting the Kimberly 7th Ward to attend at this building. The 7th Ward will meet at 11:30 a.m. on September 5th only, and then we'll revert to 2 p.m. for the remainder of the year 2021. Next, the Murtaugh building, we will have the Murtaugh Ward and the Rock Creek Ward. The Rock Creek Ward we will ask to come a little later, just on September the 5th, and then we'll return to a 9 a.m. start time for the rest of the calendar year, with Murtaugh following at 11:30 a.m. Thank you, brothers and sisters, for your patience, for your faith in sustaining these new changes. We recognize that this will cause a lot of opportunity and wonderful growth in our stake. We want you to know that we love you. We appreciate the privilege to serve alongside you in helping to build up Zion and strengthen this wonderful stake that we've been blessed to be a part of. And I testify of these things humbly. In the name of Jesus Christ, amen.